Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough. This will be the July-August 1942 turn. It's likely to be a pretty busy turn. So let's get right into it. Let's take a look at starting money. Okay, starting money is looking something like this. We have Germany at -4, Japan at 1, Italy at -2, the Soviets at 1, Commonwealth at -3, USA at -1, China at -1, and the Free French are at -2. Now, I've put the bids in for the various major powers who want to do political options for this turn. So let's go and take a look at that. Okay, we have three major powers bidding. We have Germany bidding 1, the Commonwealth bidding 1, and the United States bidding 2 for 2 political options. So let's see how that pans out. We have Germany bidding 1, they're getting a +3, so that's going to be 4. That's going to put them in 1. We have the Commonwealth bidding 1, they're getting a +1 for 2, and we have the USA bidding 2, they're getting a +2 for 4, but theirs is divided by 2, so that's 2. So that's a tie between the Commonwealth and the U.S., and that will be broken by the political effectiveness. The U.S. is still at a 2. The Commonwealth is at a 6, so the Commonwealth will break that tie. They will be second. The U.S. will be third. A first last card on Germany, and the last card on the United States. Now, let's see where the rest of the major powers are going to end up. Well, we got Japan at 4, so that's going to put them in at 4th. The Soviets at 3, it's going to put them in at 5th. The Italians at 2, that'll be 6th. The Free French at 1, that'll be 7th. And China at 0 will be last. Okay, Germany's up. Let's see what they want to do for a political option. Germany's going to play infrastructure. They're going to build one of the resources they have in the Soviet Union that they captured, the undeveloped resources. It's going to be this one right here next to Kiev. So they're going to develop that. It's going to cost them 6 money and take 5 turns. And they don't activate a minor. There's no U.S. entry. And I'm just going to pay it. We don't roll to end the political phase, so we're going to move right on into the Commonwealth. So I'll be back with their political option. All right, the Commonwealth is going to propose a level 3 treaty with the United States. It's going to cost a total of 4 money. There's some minor effects here. I think the only minors still neutral are Saudi Arabia and Ireland. The U.S. entry is going to be a 0, so there's no effect to that. And I'll note that down. This is not going to take effect until the U.S. gets their go, which will be right after this, because I still don't roll to end the political phase. There's a +2 to the die now, and we've only had 1 political option played, so that's a -1. That's a net +1, and you can't get a 1 with a net +1. So I'll be back in a second with the U.S. Okay, for the first of 2 political options, the U.S. is going to agree to a proposal. They now have a level 3 treaty with the Commonwealth. And now we will roll to see if the political phase ends, because there's been 2 previous political options played, and there's a +2 to the die, so only a 1 will do it. And we rolled a nice big giant 7, so that means the political phase will continue, and the U.S. will get to play their second political option, which is going to be minor joins in, and that's going to be Brazil. The U.S. already has a minor alliance with Brazil, so she's going to play this, pay the cost, and bring Brazil into the war. And that's going to do it for the political phase. I got to dig out the Brazilian counters and deploy them on the map. And the U.S. entry for this is going to be 2 times the treaty chart, which I don't really think is all that much. Once you start getting later in the war, it really well, actually, it's going to be U.S. entry of 4. So I'm going to record all this along with the minor effects, and I'll be back with the initiative, the weather roll, and taking a look at reinforcements. Okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we have to have the Commonwealth activate a minor, and then the U.S. gets to activate a minor. So I think what the Commonwealth is going to do, I think we're going to activate Spain. So I'll grab the markers, I'll come over here. The U.S. marker in Spain will be still in there because that was put there. That will be put there after the Commonwealth activates a minor. But we have two markers. We have a -2 for the Commonwealth and a -2 for Germany. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the German marker will activate that one first. That's going to drive it 1 hex back. And then we'll activate the Commonwealth. Well, the only place it can go for the Commonwealth is here. And it's going to cost 3 points to go there. So that will be a no effect. So that will burn that off. And then after the U.S. aligns Brazil, they get to activate a minor. And I think who they're going to activate is they're going to activate Saudi Arabia. So I'll grab those markers. And we'll head over to the status display again. And let's see. Saudi Arabia. Oh, that's probably not a good idea, but oh well. Oh well. Got to activate. Actually, instead of doing that, instead of activating Saudi Arabia, I think the U.S. is going to activate Ireland. Yeah, we'll do that instead. It's not really going to help us much, but alright, we have a -1 Commonwealth. That's not going to do anything because Ireland's right here. The 2 for the Germans it'll pull Ireland into the Romania hex. And that's going to be that. Now we can move on to rolling initiative. Let's do that while we're right here. We'll grab the dice. The initiative modifiers are still +2 for the fascists, -1 for the Democrats, and -1 for the communists. So let's roll the dice, see what we get. The dice are a blue Democrat, red communist, white fascist. Well, the fascists definitely won this. So they're not going to ask for a reroll, and they want to go first. So we'll put the fascists first. And I think the communists definitely want to go second, and the Democrats will go last. Alright, let's go take a look at, no, let's do the weather. Let me grab the weather chart. I have to say that the last probably 3 turns solid, the last 3 turns, the weather has been nothing but total garbage. Actually, since probably September, October 1941. It's been complete garbage. And I think overall it's hurt the fascists pretty badly because they haven't been able to do really anything against the Russians, at least the Germans anyways. And the Italians have just choked it big time down in the African desert. So I don't know how things are going to pan out, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's roll weather, see what we get. This is going to be the July-August turn. It should be pretty good weather, but hey, you never know. That's a 7. We're going to have fair weather everywhere, storm and north monsoon, and the impulse marker will move up 1. Storm and north monsoon. And now let's go take a look at the reinforcements. Let's go take a look at the reinforcements. All right, reinforcements for this turn. We got a bunch of Italians coming in. Looks like some ships. Good naval bomber, a sub, militia unit. The Russians have a factory coming online with a whole pile of units. And the Germans got a bunch of stuff coming in. Some offensive points for them. As well as the Japanese have a bunch of units. And the British actually have, well, the Commonwealth actually has a pretty good pile of stuff. That's not too bad. A little bit for the U.S., but I'm sure that's going to pick up later. So I'm going to get these on the board, and we'll come back with the first set of impulses. I have completed the first impulse up to combat for the fascists. I think I'll start with the European theater. The Germans took a land, the Italians took a combined, and right off what we're going to have is an air battle right here. We have 2 Italian fighters fighting 1 Commonwealth fighter, so that's going to be the Commonwealth are going to roll first. I've got to grab my sheet. Alright, so we got 5.5 to 6. That's going to be a total of even. The Commonwealth will roll first. See what they get. They get a 14 on the even. 14 is Defender Abort. Ooh. Defender Abort, front fighter, front. I think we'll abort the front fighter. And now the Italians get to shoot back. And they rolled a 16, double 8s. 16 is DX. Defender is destroyed. And the Commonwealth will get the pilot back. So this guy is gone. They will get a pilot. And the 2 Italian bombers get through. And those bombers were doing a ground strike. So we have a 2 and a 1 against the headquarters in the unit underneath. So we'll roll, the red will be the 2 and the green will be the 1. First for the headquarters. And that's a 1 and a 0. The headquarters is flipped. That was a big one. And against the 6-4. And we roll the 2 is a 1. Yes, so that one's flipped as well. I'm a little bit confused about what dice was what here. Alright, so the Italians actually came through with something for once. So this is going to be a 2-to-1 attack on the Blitzkrieg table. We'll use HQ benefits with him. So that's going to give the Italians a net +3. On the Blitzkrieg table, let's see what they can roll. And naturally, they roll a crappy, useless 3. On a 2-to-1, that becomes a 6. Okay, the Italians lose 1, and the Commonwealth has to retreat. Alright, I'm going to take care of that. That will give the Italians the hex. But they do have to lose a unit. I'm going to take care of that, and we'll be back in a second with the second attack down here in the Near East. Okay, the second attack, I took care of all that. The Commonwealth retreated their headquarters to here and the infantry corps to here. Even though the Italians lost the unit, they did actually gain a hex now. So they're doing something. Who knows? Alright, over here we got a 7-to-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. And that's going to be an automatic. So this infantry corps is dead. That is non-cadre. And then they can occupy. I guess they will. Alright. Now we're going to move up into Russia. We have a few attacks up here. The first attack is up by Leningrad. Let's see. I think we have an 8-to-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, which is automatic. So that unit will be killed. And we will occupy the hex, obviously. The infantry definitely will occupy. Yeah, we'll just occupy with the infantry. Okay. And then we don't actually have a whole lot of attacks in the Soviet Union this turn, but we do have a few down here, so we'll get those resolved. We have this one right here, which is another 8-to-1, which is going to be an automatic on the Blitzkrieg table. So he is dead. And the Germans can occupy that hex. I think they will. They will blitz out of that hex as well. And that's good there. Then we have a 6-to-1 attack here. We need to think about this for a second. The fascists do have some aircraft, a fighter. We could ruin it, but that's going to basically use up our aircraft for this turn. 6-to-1 on the Blitzkrieg. He's probably, even if I drop it to 4-to-1, he's probably still going to get the hex because he's got a +1. Yeah, he's definitely going to get the hex. Yeah, definitely. We'll just let him roll it. So he's got a 6-to-1 +1. That's a 6. 4-to-1, it would have been star B. This we have star 2B, so it would have saved the unit for us. It would have come back next turn, but it wouldn't have affected anything, and my aircraft units would have got used up. So we'll just leave it the way it is, I guess. We'll get a cadre out of that. Let's see. Meinstein will occupy the hex. And the 8-6 armor will blitz up to adjacent to Stalingrad. And we got a 5-to-1 here. That is out of range of our aircraft. We'll let him. I'm going to roll that. He's got 5-to-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of attacks for the fascists this turn. That's another 6. Which is a 7, which is star 1B. That's all it needs. I don't know if I have a whole lot of armor here. I don't. I think they're just going to occupy with a 6-3, and that's about as far as we're going to go there. Then that is actually it for attacks on the Eastern Front. Not a whole lot, really. Considering the amount of reinforcements that the Soviets got this turn. Okay, let's spiel over to the Atlantic. We have a possible couple of different sub-actions in the North Atlantic and Ferris Gap. So we're going to roll some dice and see if we get anything. Let's do Ferris Gap first. That's going to be a big nothing. So we'll do that. And we have to do one over here as well. Do that. And the Ferris Gap, North Atlantic. And that's a big nothing as well. So they just basically went, got nothing. Alright, now we're going to head over to the Pacific, where the Japanese did a naval, and they declared war on the United States. Alright, we're doing Pearl Harbor. And, we just have to roll a surprise point. This is a surprise turn. So we just have to roll the dice and see what we get for surprise points. I have to go find my dice. I just ended up tossing them on the floor. Okay, the roll ended up coming out to be a 2-9. I got to figure out what that is. Now the U.S. won't get any surprise points because this is a surprise turn. So I'll have to figure that out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we ended up with 15 surprise points. The Americans have a total of 19 anti-aircraft. That's half. It's actually 18.5, but rounds up to 19. 37. Yes, rounds up to 19. So the Japanese are going to spend 8 surprise points to move the anti-aircraft all the way down to the leftmost column. So that's going to be the lowest of 2 dice. So we'll roll 2 dice. And the lowest of the 2 dice is going to be a 1. Because I rolled a 1 and a 5. So that's going to be one air to sea point aborted. So that's going to end up, the Japanese are going to end up with 49 air to sea points. They'll use their 6 remaining to move it over 2 spots. That's going to be 61 plus against 21 ships. 61 plus against 21 ships. Yes, right. Look at that right. Oh, anyways, it's not going to make a difference. Oh, it's too far to be moving. Okay, anyways. What was it doing? Okay, 21 ships. That's going to be 7 sunk, 4 damaged, and 2 aborted. So I'll write that down. 7 sunk, 4 damaged, 2 aborted. Okay, and I have 1 surprise point left. So Japan goes first. They're going to pick the Saratoga to sink. The Americans have to save it. And they actually don't save it. It is sunk. So the Saratoga is sunk. And now the Americans will pick the Trenton for number 2. And that one is also sunk. Japan will pick the Yorktown. That one is sunk. And now they'll use their final surprise point to pick another one. We're going to pick the Arizona. That one is damaged. And we'll pick for the next sunk. So that's 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th sunk. We'll pick the Arizona again. It's an automatic because 2 damages in a row is a sunk. And then the U.S. will pick one. They'll pick the Detroit. That one is sunk. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 1 more. And that's up to Japan. We're going to pick the West Virginia. And that one is damaged. Now we got 4 damages. The U.S. will pick the Memphis. That one is damaged. Japan will pick the West Virginia. That one is damaged, which means it's a sunk. That's 1, 2, it's going to be 3. U.S. will pick the Northampton. That's a 7. Got to roll better than a 7, and we do. So it's aborted, not damaged, aborted. And the last one is we're going to pick. It doesn't matter, I don't think. We'll go after the Quincy, and that one is damaged. Now there's 2 aborts. So Japan will pick the Mississippi. It is half aborted, and the U.S. will pick the Pennsylvania. It's aborted. So there's 2 ships that got aborted. There is 2 damaged ships, and the U.S. lost 2 carriers, 2 battleships, and 2 cruisers. So not quite as devastating as it could have been, but still lost 2 carriers. So I'm going to pick all this up and put it back where it belongs, and then I think we're going to go to the Communist Impulse. Just finished up the Soviet Impulse, and it doesn't look as bad as it seems. We retreated in a few places. We managed to plug the gaps up there, bad as it was. And we even managed to plug the gaps down there too, except for one place right there. But we do have reinforcements coming up. So I don't think it looks that bad overall, considering it's July, August 1942. So we're going to move on to the democracies, and we're going to see what they're going to do. Both the Commonwealth and the U.S. took naval actions, got their fleets out in the Bay of Biscay, bottle up the Germans, and did The U.S. transported some stuff over, also reinforced the convoy boxes in the Faroes Gap in the North Atlantic, and didn't do much in the Pacific. We have a possibility of a convoy raiding in the Pacific. We also have a strategic bombing mission here, so we're going to do both of those right now for the U.S. Okay, bombing. There's a factory there that the Germans are using. It's in Lille. So the Germans do have a fighter that can intercept, so they will. So we're going to have an air battle. And the Commonwealth will counter-intercept the interceptor. Alright. So the Germans will shoot first. They are at, the bomber is down here, the bomber stream. They're going to be 4 to 5.4, so that's 1.4. It's going to be +1, -1. So the Germans will shoot first on the -1, and they get a 17 on the -1. That is DX. Defender destroys own front fighter or front bomber. I guess the U.S. fighter is gone and the pilot is dead because it's a yellow box. Now the U.S. Commonwealth can shoot back. And they roll an 11. That's the worst possible result you can get, even on the +1. It's defender clears through any one bomber. There aren't any German bombers, so it doesn't matter. So I guess we'll go to the next round. It's even up now. What is that fighter? Oh, that's an HE. Oh, I can't remember what the name of that. I can't remember. Anyways, it's an early German fighter, believe it or not. Alright, so the Germans are on the even now, and they roll a 20. I know what that is. That's dead. That's blown out of the air. Oh, this is just getting to be too funny. The Commonwealth shoots back. They roll a 13 on the even, and that is a blank. Do we chance it with the B-17? Yeah, let's push through. Alright, so now the Germans can shoot at the B-17 on the +1. Let's see how they do. They roll a 15 on the +1. And 15 is attack or abort. So the bomber is aborted, but not before he shoots back on the -1. And he rolls an 11. I don't even have to look. I know what that is. That's a... So the first strategic bombing mission, it ends up in a gigantic bust. And that's just too funny. All right, now let's go see if the U.S. can do a little bit better with the convoy raiding over there in the South Pacific for the Chilean ore line that Japan has. And it's right here. So we're going to roll search dice. And the U.S. rolls a 10. I guess that means 0. So bloop. They'll get one more shot to shoot down them 2 convoy points. And that's about it. Well, sink them 2 convoy points. And that's about it. China's all done. They didn't have too much to do. I think they moved 1 unit. And that was about it. And we're going to move on to the... I got to check the time, but we're going to move on to the weather roll. Let's do that right now because we're back to the fascist impulse. Let's roll the weather die. That's a 3. And that's going to be change storm from north monsoon to rain. So now it is raining in the north monsoon. And we will start with the fascist impulse. Okay, let's start over here in the east for the fascists. We have an attack on Leningrad. We're going to have an air battle first. We got some Germans and we got some Russians. Where's my other die? There it is. Alright, first the Russians shoot because they're the non-phasing player. They're on the -1. And they roll a 17 on the -1. And that is going to be DX. And the pilot will be killed. So that poor old Finnish fighter is dead. And the Finns get to roll back. They roll a 10. 10 on the +1. Defender clear through any bomber. There aren't any bombers. And do we keep going? Let's chance it. Alright. Well, now they rolled crappy. They rolled on the... They are on the +1 now. And they rolled a 13, which is a blank. The Germans will roll back. They get a 7, which is not bad. Defender abort. So the Soviet fighter has to abort. I think he's going to come land over here. And now we get to do a ground strike. There are 2 units in Leningrad. So we're going to go, the red die is the top unit and the green die is the bottom unit. And 2 3s. It's in a swamp, which means the 6 tactical factor is half to 3. So both units are flipped. Both units are flipped. That's going to change the odds to 7-1. And we're going to use HQ benefits. So we're going to have a, because they're out of supply, so it's going to be a 7-1 plus 3. 7-1 on the assault table. Plus 3. That's going to be a 9. And that is star 2S. And so the city of Leningrad will fall. So I'll take care of that. Going to have some recording to do here. Because there is a red factory there that the Soviets just lost and the Germans just gained. Alright, now moving on. We have another ground strike to do first. Right here, we have a 2-point ground striker. And do the Soviets want to intercept? Yeah, they're going to intercept. So we're going to have another air battle. Okay, the Soviets roll first on the +1. They roll a 9. Yeah, it can't get worse than that. Well, actually 11 is probably the worst. So a 9 is just a blank. And the German bomber will shoot back. And he rolls a 12. That's just as bad. On the -1. Attacker clears through any one bomber. Anyone defending bomber. Well, there's no defending bombers. So, he'll do it again. That's a 14. That's a little better. Defender abort. So the German bomber will be aborted, but he gets to shoot back. 13, I don't think that's anything. On the -1. That's a blank. Okay, so the bomber is aborted. It was worth a try. It was worth a shot. And the Soviet fighter vanquished the possible ground strike here. Because we got a 3-1 +1 on the Blitzkrieg table. Oh, am I going to use HQ? I don't even have an HQ there. Oh, 3-1 +1. Let's roll it. Oh. On the Blitzkrieg. 3-1 +1 is a 4. Is -1. But that's going to turn over all the German units. So let me take care of that before I move on. Oh, we got another ground strike before I forget right here. So there's no intercepting Soviet fighters, so it's going to be just a straight up 5. And it missed. Alright, so now we have a 4-to-1 here on the Blitzkrieg table with a +1. 4-to-1 +1. That's 9. That's going to be cross star 2B. That's more like it, says the Germans. And we can blitz, and I think we're going to. That way. Surprise, surprise. Let's make life difficult for the Russians. And I think that's it for attacks in the east. You know, we definitely don't have a big concentration of German units down here. Though the taking of Leningrad was a pretty good move. That's going to free up units, and they're just going to shuffle down now. Alright. Oh, we have to move over to the Atlantic to do... Oh, we don't... No. We got one more attack down here in the Near East. And this is an 8-to-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, automatic. The Portuguese unit dies. I guess Roma will occupy the hex. And that's good. Italians did their thing, sort of. And now we're going to move over to the Atlantic. We're going to roll some search dice. Oh. Alright, search dice. Let's see what we get. Well, we found something. We got a 3 and a 4. So I'm going to figure that out and get back in a minute. Okay, against the subs, we have 1 that's going to be sunk, 1 damaged, and 3 aborted. Well, there was 1 surprise point, so it's not going to make much difference. And the surprise point was on the effect of the Germans. And the Commonwealth, US, are going to suffer 2 sunk, 2 damaged, 2 aborted. So let's start with the subs. I picked first, they're going to try to sink the Milchow. That's an 8. And he is sunk. Now we have 1 damaged. We will try to damage this Italian ship, which is really high. Yeah, he's an 8. So, actually, we'll pick next. We'll pick this Italian sub. That's a 9. He's damaged. And then 3 aborted. We're going to abort. We'll abort this guy. Oh, the other Milchow. We'll abort him. That's an 8. He's not aborted. He's half aborted. The Germans will pick that guy for an abort. That's a 9. He is aborted. You can go home. And the last one, the Commonwealth will pick the other one for an abort. And he is indeed aborted. Alright, this is bloodier than the Germans thought it was going to be. They lost the sub. Alright, now we got 2 sunk, 2 damaged, and 2 aborted for the Commonwealth. I think the Germans will pick this guy for the sunk. And he's an auto sunk. So down he goes. And then the Commonwealth will pick for the second sunk. And I'll pick that Norwegian cruiser. He's a 7. Unfortunately, he gets sunk too. Now we got 2 damaged. The Germans will pick 3 Commonwealth convoy points to be damaged. They go to the repair pool. And the Commonwealth will pick this cruiser to be damaged. And indeed he is damaged. There could be another round, so I shouldn't take them out just yet. At the end of all combat, they will move to the repair pool. And now to abort. We're going to abort this cruiser. And he is aborted. He does go away though. And the last one, the Commonwealth will pick this damaged cruiser to abort. And he does abort. So now he can go to the repair pool. Now we roll to see if there is another round. A 5 and a 7, there's not going to be another round. Don't think there's enough convoy points to push it. 2 points? No, probably not. So there won't be another round. However, we're going to roll dice to see if there's something going on in the North Atlantic. And a 6 and a 10 is definitely a no. So there will be no action in the North Atlantic. And I do believe that wraps it up for the fascist impulse. I don't think there's anything else. Japan kind of stuck down in the North Monsoon, can't do much. And that was about it. Unfortunately, the Philippines are in a North Monsoon. All right, we'll move on to the Communist Impulse. We'll be back in a second with what they did. Okay, here's the Communist line, the Soviets. Doesn't look too bad, all in all. There's still a few units behind the line, so they actually have a little bit of reserves. And the Germans with their flipped units, that kind of helped them out big time. The Germans kind of took a chance on that attack, and they kind of choked on it. And over here in Communist China, yeah, they moved up adjacent to the Japanese, so things are looking good there too. And I'm going to move on to the democracies. I'm going to probably do them. And I'm probably going to call it right here for now. And upload this half a turn so it doesn't get too long. I mean, this turn could go another 8. No, could go who knows how many more impulses. But I'm going to do that. I'll come back with a summary of what the democracies did. And back in a second. Okay, the democracies trying to keep something intact down here, trying to hold the Suez. And probably going to have to send reinforcements at some point. A lot more reinforcements. Over here in the Pacific, we got to roll for this last one right here. If he doesn't actually get anything, then it will be nothing for this turn. Other than that, nothing happened in the Pacific. Just kind of, there's a little lull right now in the Pacific. Over here in the Atlantic, however, the Germans do get to potentially do a naval action. Part of the sequence of play is the enemy can initiate naval combat. So they will do that. Okay, so let's try this first. 6 and a 4, yeah, nothing happened. Alright, now we'll go back over to the Atlantic. And we'll see if the Germans can get lucky over here. Search dice. A 3 and a 1. Well, the Germans did find him. They did find him. I'll figure it out. Okay, we ended up with 3 surprise points for the Commonwealth. We're going to have a sub-action. And what we end up with is we have 5 ASW and 5 ships against 16 sub points and 6 subs. So we end up with the Commonwealth suffering 1 sunk, 2 damage. The Germans are suffering 2 damage and 3 aborts. So we'll do the Germans first. The Commonwealth tries to damage somebody. This sub is not in the action, so they're going to try to damage him. I'm going to try to damage the snorkel. And it's an abort. No, it's damaged. It's damaged. Correct. Now the Germans pick one for a damage. They'll pick this Italian sub right here. He is also damaged. 3 aborts. The Commonwealth will pick this to abort. He is aborted. The Germans will pick this to abort. He is aborted. He goes to the damage pool. Repair pool, rather. And the Commonwealth will pick this to be aborted. And it is not aborted, so it stays there. Too bad. This guy goes home. And now, for the Germans, German Italians, they have 1 sunk and 2 damaged. So they're going to sink the 3 tanker points. Yeah, that sounds good. 2 damage. The Commonwealth will pick this guy for a damage. Where's my die? Right here. And he indeed is damaged. And the last damage, the Germans will pick 3 out of these 4 convoy points to be damaged. So that'll be 6 convoy points damaged. There's 1 convoy point left there. Just remember that. That's all. Just have to remember that. And that's it. And we can see if there's going to be another round. Don't think there's probably going to be another round. No. So the damaged ships go off to the repair pool. And we will try it in the North Atlantic. We're getting a big pile of ships built up in the old repair pool. Alright, roll search dice for the North Atlantic. 6 and a 6 is probably nothing. It is nothing. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for the Allies. Well, the democracies. Keep calling them Allies. So we're going to start with the next impulse is going to be the fascist impulse. And I think I'm going to end it right here and do the rest of the turn in another episode. I don't want these turns to turn into like 2 hours. So I will do that. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. And I will see you next time.